3 full stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7,000, expected for 025, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango to Mike, taxi to the ground via Echo and this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and report your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Tower, King at 208 Kilo, ILS 4.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
The land,
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs round plus 4658 is trying to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next report is
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go trail right at Bravo.
What's the radio area check?
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Shift takeoff trail right plus 465.
Papa Tower, King at 528 Kilo, 58
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
via Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
We're 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear to be active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta.
November Riverside Tower, good evening. November 290 Alpha is windy on the middle north northeast and 7 to this with left-hand downwind on expect.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 27, 03 Alpha. Riverside Clouds, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside, ground in the future. Don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha, Rocket, November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance, November 6th, Charlie Mike, Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike, Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. And we should clearance up.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 is unusual one on the right, 4,500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 1 right, 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, via hotel, right frequency, 58, 465.
Beach ground, number 95 for Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Alpha. Taxi the active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and we're at the east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure via Fargo East.
Around 16 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning double Hotel Tango, East Red, India, close traffic, 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, do you mind? Palm Springs ground, say again, aircraft type.
Bray Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango, do you mind? Thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Papa Hotel Tango.
We're center 791 Juliet, towards ground left clear.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Skype 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south angles with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249, that's 2061, squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 901 Juliet, read back this correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go around inside. It's Skype 791 Juliet, south angles 0956.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right, taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right, taxi via Alpha.
Hello everyone, happy Monday. Bet, good to see you. Evanet, good to see you as well. Welcome on board. Hope you are both doing fine today. We are going to practice with NDB flying, which is quite exciting actually, because I never or very, very rarely fly on an NDB. So as part of my IFR training, I think it's also pretty cool to learn a little bit about NDB approaches, even though those are phased out gradually, almost already completely from the aviation system. I still think it's neat to learn how to fly those. So for today, I'd just like to familiarize myself a little bit with NDB flying, using the instrument just to get to a NDB, but also to fly a NDB radial. So in particular, like you would do with a VOR, you can do the same with an NDB, but it is a little bit different in terms of how you need to work with your ADF in the cockpit to do that. So we're just going to do a VFR flight. We've got very nice VMC weather on our hands today, and we're going to do a very nice flight here to exercise my NDB flying. So I'm really excited to know how that will go. Heike, good to see you. And John Fly, thank you for the auto host. So we are currently at Whiteman Airport. I believe I've never visited or departed this airport before, so that's also exciting. As you can see, the ramp is also sloped. I was actually loading up another parking spot in the middle here of the airport, to the left there, and it was even more sloped. So apparently, I guess the terrain here, the mesh, does, or perhaps in the real world, the ramp might also look like this. I cannot believe that will be the case. So that's also a little bit of a thrill today. But Whiteman, there we are. Also preset my aircraft a bit so we can do the walk around once more, because we're flying with the rep, and usually I just skip this phase, but it's just a fun phase, so why not just do it anyway today. And the flight that I planned is the following. From Whiteman, it's a Delta class airport tucked under the Burbank Charlie, as you can see. So what I like to do is request a departure with flight following, so we can just fly right through the Burbank. As long as we are in contact with a Burbank, we can just so-called departure or approach. We can easily, safely transition through this airspace, and then we're going to climb up to 5,500 feet. So we fly eventually on top, above all of the Charlies and other airspace. We need to look out for this Bravo here, a little bit south of El Monte, which you can see starts at 2,500 up to 10,000. So at 5,500, we would fly into that Bravo if we are not careful. So 5,500, we're going to fly to El Monte, and that has El Monte Airport actually has an NDB located just underneath. Well, again, there is a particular version. Now I know. There's a new feature in ForeFlight where you can actually enable the well, not the physical sectional, but the borders, I should say. Well, let me just show you like this. So this is a world view where you can see everything in ForeFlight. It's just all these sectionals are connected, but you can trigger them, I believe, with just a tap. As you can see now, you can see the border there of my sectional chart with the legend as well. I believe I can. Yeah, so this is another section, as you can see, which is actually pretty neat. And those sectionals are actually a lot more detailed, as you can see, than the world view sectional here on ForeFlight. So here you can see a symbol here representing the NDB, which is all the little red tickles there in a circle just around El Monte. So that's what we're going to use to fly towards. Just a basic inbound radial flying at 5,500 eventually, and as soon as we are clear of the Charlie of Burbank, I'm just going to cancel flight following. So it's just a departure kind of strategy. Then we go intercept this VOR radial inbound to Pomona. And what is this? Oh, yeah, the Pomona VOR. And then I'm going to fly a little bit up north again above the Charlie. So no need here to do transitions or stuff. We're going to fly to this particular visual reporting point, so I can try to fly inbound on a particular radial. This particular radial, I don't really care what it is, but it's going to be, well, let's just pick 100. So a 100 degree heading inbound to the PDIS NDB. Hopefully that will work, and hopefully I learn a little bit how to do that, on how to set my ADF and pick that particular radial. So that's the idea, and then I will my destination airport will be San Bernardino, and we're going to land there. Perhaps we're going to just circle around and do another inbound or perhaps even an outbound radial from this PILOTEdge NDB while we're flying at 5,500. If things get a little bit confusing for me, we'll have to see. Weather-wise, we're totally fine. A lot of VMC, so I'm going to skip the weather briefing for now. I already did that before the stream, and I'd like to spend that time on doing the walk around here with my Cessna. That's the flight for today. So I think it's going to be something new again, and and again, I cannot wait to fly. I had a very nice working day, but a pretty good working day, cannot exist without a nice educational flight here in the sim, I believe. Okay, so having said that, a couple of things that are on my mind. I've reread The Killing Zone, a book that I have on my night shelf actually. It's a really, I actually highly recommended book that describes all kinds of airplane or accidents, aircraft accidents, flying accidents. And it describes what the factors might be that resulted in those crashes or incidents. And by rereading it and also noticed the same thing happening while I read it the first time, I got more and more interested in the psychology of making unnecessary mistakes or sloppiness or something like that. I tweeted about this just a few days ago because I noticed the same thing in my sim when I'm flying, that I'm making unnecessary mistakes that are not due to a lack of knowledge or skill, because I know what I need to do, but somehow this sloppiness or these mistakes just seep in. So I'm a little bit researching papers and studies on that, which is actually very, very interesting and very, very relevant to flight training as well, but also try to apply that in my sim. And one of the things obviously is use the checklist, also just to be much more focused and aware and critical before you fly, also to visualize what you're gonna do in your different flight phases. So that's something that is now on my mind, what I like to furthermore develop in my sim practice, which I think is really relevant and interesting, perhaps also for you guys. Just to share what's keeping me busy here. All right. Enough jets. Let's get going. So Whiteman. Okay, let's go into the cockpit. Let me see if I'm completely in sync. Well, I am with my tracker here. Now, as you can see, we need to do that walk around, but let's just go through the checklist once more. It's a little bit weird that we are tilted here on one side. And while that might be just a fun sight to look at, it actually also has some practical implications, because if we did not prevent this cross-feeding, fuel might actually go from one wing to the other, and there might now be more fuel on the left wing than in the right wing. So in this case, I believe you need to set the crossfeed indeed to the fuel tanks to the wing that's the lowest relatively. So this is the proper setting to prevent fuel going from one wing to the other. Interesting stuff, I think. Anyways, let's do those checks. Well, what I did initially, again, this is a checklist, guys, that you all are familiar with, but those who don't, I've made a very elaborate unofficial student checklist for the Cessna 172, also for A2A 172, also the 182, also for the airflow labs, pretty much the same, but it's quite elaborate and it covers many more items than you should usually see. I'd get thank you for the cheer, man. Thanks. Man, you're a big supporter. Much, much appreciated. Thank you. It provides many more, or offers you many more items to go through that actually every pilot should go through, at least in his mind. Usually checklists are a little bit more abbreviated, but this is actually the total thing. Was also a very great exercise for me, an intellectual exercise to create this checklist, because you need to have a very thorough understanding of why particular checks need to be done and also in what order. But anyway, this is a free download. If you go to the UncertifiedPilot.com website, you can find it, or on my Discord as well, and you can use it as well. So, flight planning, that's the first thing that I looked at. So my route, we already covered that one. This is going to be the route. Already looked at airspaces and stuff. Well, the Bravo was something that was a concern to me a little bit south here in my initial leg. But as long as we stay north or just fly inbound to that radial to Almonte, will be just fine. I guess we're going to get some departure instructions, a particular heading or a particular altitude to stay below or to go above. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is something that is at least should be on my mind, because if we fly too much down south and I'm not careful enough, then I will bash to the Bravo. And I guess that also means that because we're not most likely not going to receive exactly this departure heading onto El Monte, that this particular leg will also be already an exercise of catching an inbound radial, an NDB radial. So that's going to be fun as well. I will use my GPS too to make sure that I will not fly into that Bravo. Anyways, that's the main concern. We don't have any MTRs or other stuff that's going on. And again, I'm going to flight 5,500, so we'll be flying above all of the Charlies, and I will use flight following to get through this Charlie. So that's checked. Runways, runway lengths is also an important check to do. In case of a Cessna Skyhawk, pretty much any airport is suited, so that's fine as well. At least on normal pressure altitude or density altitude. So if you're really high up, for example Big Bear for example, and if especially in summer when it's a hot day, then even the runway length should be considered in terms of density altitude. You need to look that up in the charts to see if you can actually still take off from that airfield, even for a Cessna Skyhawk. Airspace, we checked. Weather, well, again, I looked already at this. This is pretty good, so we're also flying with real weather today. Altitude, well, 5,500. We don't have any terrain issues, at least not on our route. To the north, obviously, there is some terrain, but for us, it's going to be just fine. Diversions, we've got plenty. Delta class airports, and I think no non-towered in the beginning, but at the end we do have, in case we need those. But yeah, we've got plenty of choice to divert to. Frequencies, we're going to look those up soon. Fuel, we need 10, I believe, about 10. Yeah, about 10 gallons. 4Flight is telling us that's good. I believe we have that much in the tank. And weight and balance, I'm just here alone, don't have any baggage, so we are fine. Okay, so we could submit our flight plan. That's not something that we're going to do as VFR pilots. We could at PilotEdge, but no one will see. And that's something different again. I noticed, or I learned from Finnish, I believe, a while ago, that in Europe we are actually obliged to file flight plans, even via VFR. But in America that's not the case. It might be handy though, safe to do in case you get lost. So the controllers know where you are and they can, well, initiate or start a emergency rescue mission. But it's not mandatory. Reset cabin, so the cold and dark checks, Roger. Let me see. So park and brakes are set. Let's pretend we got live vests here, and the fire extinguisher is also in the green and present. Door is closed. My LT is set to auto. This stuff is in. Flat levers up, and my flaps are also up. My levers are working. My trim is working and set. Let's set that one to both already. In circuit breakers are nicely tucked in also here, and switch off. Beacon light is on, at least a switch, and the avionics are off. Good. Then we can check the control surfaces. To the right, that one goes down, that one goes up, that one goes down, that one goes up. Makes sense. Up, down. Trim is working, and my pedals are working too. Wonderful. Okay. Let's see if I haven't forgotten anything. Aircraft equipment. Yeah, we are legal. Airworthiness. Let's pretend we all got the documents aboard. Engine oil. I checked that in the previous flight. We need to actually change the oil because we're using oil obviously to lubricate the engine and also to get rid of all kinds of, well, how do you call that, dust or stuff that's in the in the oil. And so every now and then you need to change the oil, which you can with the REP, with the Reality Expansion Pack by Simcoders, which is really wonderful. We can also change the type of oil, but that's fine as well for today. Wheel chocks removed with the already removed position aircraft. It's also interesting. Well, we are on the slope, which is not really handy. One consideration with your position is when you start your engine, you blast away dust and rubbish and stuff on the ramp, perhaps, to the back, right? So it's courteous to know that there's no Learjet or Fancy or people walking behind the tail here. Or in the hangar, for example, you can blow all kinds of dust and stuff into the hangars, which is not really nice. So that's why you can change your should change your position aircraft for a safe startup or clean startup. Park and brakes, those are set. Air temperature, we're not in freezing, so we don't need to use external heating. Passengers, well, guys, you are aboard. Welcome. Pitot tube cover removed. Well, it's still there. We're going to remove that as part of the walk around. Baggage on board, control wheel lockers removed, life vest, passenger doors, ELT, flaps, levers, avionics master, we checked this off, pitot heat, lights, fuel tank, batteries, magnetos, checked. Alright, then next section, pre-flight interior inspection. Let's see if these systems are actually working. Flight controls we already did. Batteries. Batteries on. Well, we got about 15 gallons in each tank, so that's plenty. Good. And everything seems to work just fine. I can also hear the fan go spin up. That's good. Then lights. Yeah, let's do that as well. So landing lights, taxi lights, strobe lights, nav lights, beacon lights are on, and the pitot heat will not do that just now because the pitot tube cover is still on. Let's go outside to see if those lights are actually working. This is particularly relevant when you're flying at night. Those lights are on. Position lights are on, as you can see, also on the other side, and the beacon light is on as well. There should also be a position light here at the back, which is also on. Nice. Back into the cockpit. Turn off those lights. Okay. Yeah, pitot tube is something that we still need to do. Okay. Then avionics on. Let's see if we got some lights going and no circuit breakers that pop out. Seems to be just fine. Transponder is off. VFR. We're going to set that soon on. And we'll also check the database if it's current and that kind of stuff. But we cannot change that here in the sim. At least not in the current version, I believe. So we can check here to see, and you can see it is out of date, which we're still legal to fly with, but I think for particular procedures, especially with IFR, again, that should be an up-to-date database. Then the annunciator panel looks good and it's working, and everything is set here as it should be. Again, field test, and yeah, ours checked and everything is fine. Good, and then avionics off, I believe. Let me see. And the batteries off as well. Lights we all checked except for the pitot tube. We did not. Avionics. Oh yeah, I forgot something. My laps go down in sync. Good, because we need to do the walk around and we can inspect the connecting stuff, connecting arms much better. Anything else? Fuel economy? No, that's about it. Okay, battery off. Nice. Okay, let's do the external walk around. That stuff we already checked. Baggage door, let's pretend that it's secure. Check elevators, and we should, well, we'll look at those hinges and stuff also here in the back to see if the connecting rods are still there and they're not broken or any screws are removed. That's good. The rudders. Nice. Also inspect the nav antennas here to see if everything is secure. Remove the tie down. ELT antenna if it's secure. The flaps, give them a wiggle. Again, we should inspect the inner parts here as well. Ailerons look good. Tie down removed. Look at the fuel, enough and good color, no contamination. Wheels look good. Toggle chocks, no, because there aren't any. As you can see, already used up a little bit of oil here and good color. Cover is already removed. Can look at the spinner and at the props to see if there are no dents there. The filter, the exhaust pipe to see if it's secure. Seems to me just fine. And no bird's nest or stuff there tucked away. Looks good. And the strut here is enough room. Color looks good. Pitot tube cover removed. Well, let's turn on the pitot heat while we're at it, and also turn on the batteries because otherwise nothing will actually heat up here. Okay. Then the lights, everything is good. Stall looks good. Aileron, nicely freely movable. Wiggle. Looks good. And there we are now. We could now check whether whether the pitot tube is actually warmed up to see if it's actually working. Should be warm within about 30 seconds. That's not currently implemented in the rep yet, so let's pretend that it's working. So pitot heat off, and well, battery off as well. Let me check. Tie down. Yeah, we could also check under the belly of the Cessna the antennas. If those are not damaged anyway, on the tail, on the belly, you will see the nav antennas and the transponder and those kind of things. That's something that I forgot, but let's pretend that it's just working fine. Flaps, leading edges. Yeah, also the ADF antenna, that's the same. It's also at the bottom of the, at the belly of the Cessna. Looks good. Comm antennas also. Yeah. So the antennas is just a general theme that I forgot here. Also, the comm antennas are on the top of the Cessna. We did check, or I did mention the nav antennas, but not all the others. Oil quality we did. Intakes filter. Static. Yeah, I think it's not. Was it part of the rep walk around? I don't know for sure. Not really remember if it's part of that. Well, something in a future stream. We should check whether the static port is clear. Ventilation vents, blah 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 blah. Left tire, aileron. All right, no need to visit the maintenance hangar. Before engine start, passengers, are you sitting comfortably? I am. Let's fasten our seatbelts. Okay. That's it. So, close the door and brief. Hey, why is that tie-down not removed? I thought I did. Oh, only at the other wing. Walk around. Next. Toggle tie-down. Yeah. Okay. Cabin doors. Yeah, locked. That's what I'd like to do. Okay. So here we are. So again, we're at Whiteman here. Let's also look at the airport diagram. This is it. We are currently parked over here. So we're just gonna request flight following and let's see what kind of a runway we would get. I hope 1-2 because we need to go to a 100-degree kind of heading, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be a very simple taxi. Good. And then, well, flight following, we're going to fly, follow up on those instructions by departure or by clearance, sign into departure, and then get towards that first NDB while climbing up to 5,500. If we are outside of the when we are outside of the Class Charlie airspace, I'm going to cancel flight following. I just can freely do whatever we like to do our exercise. We could also just stick on flight following and just say that we're going to do some flying around to do some practice flying, but we don't really need to. Evanek, fasten seatbelts. Seatbelts, right. Yeah, would be great if we got some animations as well here for passengers to be more like passengers here. But I guess I need to fly an airliner here to hear some stewardess kind of sounds or pling-plongy sounds when the seatbelt signs is turned on or turned off. In the Cessna Sky, that's a little bit exaggerated, I guess. Okay, anyways, that's going to be the departure. That's briefed. All right, flight rehearsal, that's what we did. All right, then we can do our startup. And that should be actually part of a flow. So, once more, parking brakes are set. Yeah, everything is cool. Batteries on. Mixture just a bit in. Or the throttle just a little bit in, I meant. Fuel pump on. 1, 2, 3. Nice fuel flow. Cut off. All right. Again, parking brakes are set. Everything is okay. No one is walking around. So clear prop. Mixture full in. And there we are. Oil pressure is already in the green. Very good. 1200 on the RPM. That's lean for ground. There was peak. So that's it. And then 1000 generator on. We see a rise in the ammeter, or we're gonna alternator. That's what we have. Good. Then the avionics can be turned on. My flaps can be retracted. There they go. Nice. And we can set our transponder to mode C, which is mandatory in this area, because if you look at the sectional, you can see this very large circle here, this magenta circle, mode C, 30 nautical miles, I think around LAX. Where controllers just like to see on their radars also our altitudes and where we are. So that's really, really important. But default in most of my cases, I always turn it on, regardless. Burley, good to see you. Crash Tender, good to see you as well. This is going to be a challenging mission, trekking instead of homing. All right. That's 1200. That's good. Okay. Again, the GPS is just a simple aid today. Good. Do we have it on nav? Yes, we have, and we can set some frequencies here. Good. Work up from the bottom up. So let's just do first do COM2. ADIS is 132.1. Good. Ground is 125. We don't have any clearance. 125.0. So that's where we're gonna request our flight following today. And tower is 135.0.
SWF 5619070 vector John Airport.
Radio is working. 135.0 and 125.0 are easy frequencies. Okay.
Whiteman information November. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 13, dew point 2. Altimeter 2989. Arriving runway 30, departing runway 30. Advise on initial contact, you have November.
We've got November. Okay, we can already set a second frequency in the comm, which should be ADIS of our destination airport in this case. And that's Bernardino, and that is 124.175. 24.17. Okay, and we can already switch. So we have that in frequency in the active already. Nice. Okay, so that's communication frequencies. Then we need navs. NDB. Interesting. Click. Thank you. 359er. Where I'm gonna set it? Oh yeah, that's where. 359. It's already set, I believe. Or is it that one? Oh my gosh. How does this work, guys? ADF. And this is frequency. Yeah. Which one? Should be on ADF, I think. Left one, it is. Okay, thanks, Evanek. 359. So that's already set. Do we already have a reading then? That is about... Can I change it? It's actually also part of the procedure when I like to track radials. Just set it to your current heading. Ideally, you would like to have an ADF where the compass rose is just your heading indicator, right? Because then you can infer the heading that you need to fly to get towards, to fly the needle. In this case, I need to do that manually, so it's a little bit more, well, requires a little bit more work. Anyways, we need to fly around a heading of around, well, 100 degrees. That seems to confirm the heading that I would like, what I'm expecting from the ramp here, right? Which should also be around 100. Yeah. So I think we got a good reading. Do we also have an NDB or DME of an ADF, or do only certain NDBs have a DME? I don't know. There's a toggle. Right, so we got a standby frequency as well. That's wonderful, Evanek. I didn't know that. Okay, thanks. So that means that we can already set the second NDB that we need, right? So let's do that. Thank you for the follow, by the way. PD, thank you. Welcome on board. Happy Monday. And that's going to be the PDIS, right? Yeah, 397. How can I set it? 397. So switch 3. Oh no. Obviously, that's how it works. 3 9er 7. Nice. Okay, and it's on an ADF. I think there was something that you guys told me last time that this thing should be not on antenna but on ADF. Right? I think that's okay. Let me know if I don't mess this up. I think it should work now. Crescender, no DME on ADF. I don't know what that acronym stands for. Let me see. Okay, so ADF is set, but I also like to have a VOR because I need to fly to Pomona. And Pomona is frequency blah blah blah. Where is it? 110.4. 110.4. In the active, and what kind of a heading? So I can already turn on the OBS or prepare the OBS. Something of a heading of 80, which is already pretty much set, actually. Okay, nice. We also get a reading. 33 nautical miles could be right. As far as I know. Ah, thank you, Crash. I'm not good with acronyms, so that's why. Also, guys, are you going to attend Flight Simulator FS Weekend in Lelystad at the beginning of November here in the Netherlands? Would love to meet you guys. I'm gonna present with Evanek as well. Gonna chat about the wonders and thrills and educational value of home flight simulation. So if you are residing in the Netherlands or perhaps in Germany or in Belgium, feel free to come over and have a chat. We have a stand there as well. We are very excited to meet you. Nice, Crash. Nice. Okay, so frequency are set. Wonderful. Comms and nav as well. We set our altimeter. Let's double check whether our altimeter is not broken to verify that this is actually the airport elevation. Just quickly sneaking on my sectional. 1,000 feet. Yeah, 1,000 feet. Wonderful. What heading are we going to fly? I'm not going to set the heading bug now. This is synced. EGT is nicely hub still, and the air engine is already getting warmer and warmer and warmer. Let's also please sniper here and already set our blue, yeah, this one, to the stopwatch so we can use it. And again, everything is just fine. We don't need any lights. Wonderful. Okay, guys, that means that we completed the startup. I think again. Circuit breakers, fuel tank. Yeah, that's something that I could have done. Check the circuit breakers, so whether the circuit breakers are in before I start up. So because I already turn on the avionics just to check whether the systems are working, perhaps then there might be some kind of a voltage problem. And so you need to just verify whether the circuit breakers are all in just before you start up the engine. Navigation lights, stuff, fuel tanks. Yeah, this is all flow, 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 flow. We are not fouled, no flooding, and everything is set as well. Wonderful. Taxi to the runway. So again, well, the winds are calm, so I don't need any crosswind correction. Usually I forget about that. We are currently pointed 230. Yeah, so we got 12 is over there to the front. Ground flight following 5,500 to San Bernardino, but we're going to cancel flight following halfway. I need crash 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to be the time where Evanek and I gonna chat for our presentation. Okay, let's turn on the COM one.
As filed, plan via SID, departure 135.4, squawk 2624.
Right, 458 reback correction on the altitudes, climb via SID, except maintain 1,4,000.
His mic is so bad, it's hard to...
Via SID, maintain 14,000.
Of the controller, I mean. Whiteman grounds, good day, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango on your mic with a VFR request.
VHM Whiteman ground, go ahead.
Papa Hotel Tango mic, this is Cessna Skyhawk, slant Golfer at the FBO with information November looking for flight following to San Bernardino at 5,500. Bring it up.
PHDIM, are you familiar with 4-stack departure?
Negative.
Do you have the 4 stacks in your scenery?
I do not quite know. It sounds interesting. Perhaps I should take a look.
Take a look down the down departure path of runway 12, so departing south. Just take a look down there. You should see 4 smokestacks.
We'll have a look. Thanks. We'll get back to you soon. Interesting. Okay, so
Exojet 251, turn 20 degrees right.
Perhaps there's some kind of particular departure. I've looked at the airport remarks. Didn't find any particular procedure to depart, but this is interesting. Nice. Let's have a look. Airports. Whiteman. Yeah. As you can see. Basic. So, what did he say?
Santa Barbara ground, bearing 58, Papa Victor's type,
Beechcraft
bearings, 58 slant.
There it is. It's a visual reporting point, which is usually, I think, used most of the times with Charlies, but I guess because this airport is so near a Charlie,
Papa Victor, Santa Barbara clearance.
They can refer to this as well.
Santa Barbara ground.
So let's
contact Santa
use the
Barbara
camera and
for,
have a look. We can see it actually.
For your departure instructions.
Because we need to overfly it.
covered clearance. Sorry about that.
Should be some kind of a factory. I think it might be... Guys, where do you think it might be? It's a little bit, if I look at the map. So down 12, 12, runway 12. And a little bit left of it, right? And how far away? Around, well, 1.5 nautical miles. It's a power plant, exactly, GBB. You didn't install it, Tim. Okay.
Baron 58 Papa Victor is type Beechcraft Baron 58.
Alright, but I should be able to see it on the photo reel, I think. But perhaps it's a bit hard. Okay, I should remember to, I think it's this
Baron 58
stuff.
Papa Victor, Barber clearance on departure, fly runway heading. Maintain VFR at below 1,500. Departure frequency 120.55. Squawk 6233.
Let's just be safe and just say that we don't have the scenery yet.
Fly runway.
Yeah, that was it.
1,500. Departure frequency 1.
Or should we do it? Should we do it?
Squawk 6233.
I'm just curious to see how that departure goes.
Hey, Papa Victor, read back right.
Yeah, it might be that. I'm pretty sure. Hey, Sim, good to see you. Welcome aboard. Let's just do it. I know where it is right now, so. Wyman Grounds, Sky Papa Delta Mike. We have the scenery inside. We don't have the 3D buildings, but I do see it on my photo reel, if that's okay.
Okay, so you will be able to spot it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. Papa Delta Mike.
PHTM, roger. On departure, overfly the 4 stacks, maintain VFR at or below 2,005, correction, maintain VFR at 3,000. Departure frequency 134.2. And, I lost your squawk, stand by 1. And, PHTM, squawk 3257.
3257. Alright, after departure, 4 stacks will will fly to 3,000 feet. And departure frequency is 134.2 and squawk is 3257 for Papa Delta Mike.
PHTM, read back right, say again, your destination.
San Bernardino, Papa Delta Mike. Okay, 3, 2.
ExoJet 561 and all that, to get a little busy there. You cross through the final approach course, turn
4 stacks,
left.
interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Turn right, right turn, direct minnow.
We're already on ground frequencies, I can already...
I'll have a clearance for you to get there.
Could also set it in the GPS, by the way. And Whiteman Ground, Sky Papa Delta Mike at the FBO, we're ready for taxi.
PHJ on ground, runway 12, taxi via Alpha.
12 via Alpha, Papa Delta Mike. Okay, nice. So, 12, well, I said heading block, just rituals are good. 12, that means that we need to go to that direction, it's already there. Anything else? Yes, a checklist.
Overground, ready to taxi.
Crosswind, we don't need. Turn a slip indicator, heading indicator.
Quick
Roger.
question for you, if you don't mind.
Air 58 Papa Victor, Santa Barbara ground, go ahead.
Brake test works. No one to the right, no one to the left.
So on my 4 flight, I didn't clearance delivery frequency.
Turn indicator, slip indicator works, heading indicator works, attitude indicator is stable.
It's always on the airport diagram. It'll always, if there is a clearance delivery at the airport, the frequency will be listed on the airport diagram.
Nice and easy. Good. Also changed my spark plugs here as part of the Cessna, the REP, the expansion rep by Simcoders, because the fouling happened a little bit too much, and I thought, well, let's just switch spark plugs that are a little bit fine wire spark plugs, or a little bit that are a little bit more resistant to fouling, because I get the idea of how to clean the spark plugs when they are fouled. Alpha 12. I think this is a run-up area to the right. Quite cozy. Alright, winds are calm, so no particular heading that we need to point to.
Victor, are you ready to tax, or are you looking for the
Oil is
diagram?
already in the green, I mean. Mixture full in. Let's go.
I've got the diagram pulled up. Don't see it on. It's on 4-flight, so I don't know if it's just a mistake.
1800. No one else the messages. Everything is stable. Oil pressure. Good.
It's Santa Barbara.
It is fouled to both. Right. And again, I'm just hearing it. You should also see your RPM get a little bit rough, but it doesn't.
But it's not on here, so
I'm gonna poke Simcoders about that. It happens a little bit too
Subject
much.
561, 3 miles from Uno, flighting 350, maintain 1,600 to establish the localizer, clear localizer back course, runway 2 left approach.
Switch to tower here, 134.2 departure frequency, 2,000 feet.
1,600.
Left turn to 4 stacks. Guess I'm going to also report that I'm at 4 stacks once I'm flying over it because it's a visual reporting point. Put your full in. Back to 1800s. Left mag. Yeah, I don't hear the metallic-y sounds, which is an indication that it is working. Nice. Also check.
Verify Papa Victor, Santa Barbara ground, safe position.
Stop. Oil pressure still good. No enunciated messages. Everything is stable. Nice.
Over the south.
Good. Trim is set. Fuel tank set to both. We don't need any flaps.
Papa Victor.
Know what my departure is going to be.
Northwest parking.
As soon as we are relieved of the departure instructions, I'm going to catch this particular
Verify Papa
radio up
Victor,
to
southeast, over by the terminals in the South Transient. Is that where you are?
Yeah. Sorry.
Ready to go. Yeah, I totally agree, J-Palm.
Ready, Papa Victor. Thank you. Runway 15
agree.
left. Taxi via Bravo Charlie. Cross runway 25 at Bravo.
Waiting for the pilot to
15 left via Bravo Charlie. Cross 25 at Bravo for 58 Papa Victor.
Subject 516 traffic, 11 o'clock, 3 miles along the coastline. Southeast bound along coastline, altitude in case 1,500, type known. Is it not in sight?
I didn't check my vacuum while I did my run up, and I also did not check my checklist.
Subject 561, reduce final approach speed.
Shaded panel, roger. And before takeoff.
Subject 561, the traffic's coming into your 12 o'clock now. He's moving at a good rate. He's going to be crossing your 12 o'clock in about 10 seconds.
No,
not even 5 seconds.
Stefan, good to see you. Ah, nice. You've been
Subject 561 traffic
converted to Greg's scenery as well. Wonderful to see. Peter Sim, good to see you.
Ontario ground, American 458 ready to taxi.
451 on ground, repart.
Say again for 458.
Where are you parked?
458 ramp.
Right, gate 204.
Weidman Tower, Skype Hotel Tango Mike. Holding short 1-2 at Alpha, ready for departure.
American 458, runway 20 right, taxi, November 1 Whiskey.
Thanks, Stefan. Thank you.
American 458, runway 26 right, taxi, November 1 Whiskey.
Busy.
November 1
nice.
Whiskey to 26 right, American 458.
Exo Jet 561, contact John Wayne Tower 126 planning. DHTIM Whiteman 4 stacks departure, runway 12, clear for takeoff, call.
Clear for takeoff, 1, 2, 4 stacks, pop to you, Mike. Okay, landing gas on, stroke lights on, mixtures in, fully lit up.
Exo Jet 561, jump Tower 1220
No
at
one
5, runway
is
2
on
left,
final. No one is
2 left, Exo Jet 561.
On the runway. Good. Let's do this. 4 stacks, was a little bit to the left there. Notice the scenery, or the photoreal scenery, the textures. Alright, compass is aligned. Everything is in the green, airspeed is alive. 40. And 50. And 60. And rotate. Nice airport. A little bit of a slope there, but it's fine. 3,000 feet. BY first.
Cower, bearing 58 Victor, ready to go, 15 left.
I think I'm just going to make that turn to 4 stacks
left, clear for
right away.
takeoff. Wind 140 at 4.
I'm going to keep my climb to 3,000. Let's see what happens. Because there's terrain obviously in front of us, so...
PHTM, contact departures too.
Over to departure, Papa Delta Mike. So over departure, Sky Papa Delta Mike is climbing through 1,500 for 5,500.
PHTM, still capture, red contact. And resume on navigation appropriate VFR altitudes.
Resume on nav and we'll stick to those VFR altitudes, Papa Delta Mike. Resume on nav. Alright, so this is just a simple turn here. I think that relieves me from flying towards 4 stacks because I'm just above it. So that means that we're now flying through, as you can see also on the GPS, through the Charlie of Burbank. That's good. I'm not trimmed. Let's do that first. Keep my landing lights and stuff on so I'm fully lit up. Yes, I know. Thanks, Avanek. I know. No, but he said resume or stick to your own VFR altitudes, didn't he? Stick to appropriate VFR altitudes. Resume on nav. Does that mean that I'm relieved of the 3,000 or not?
Are you Victor, radar contact departure?
Then I will ask. Always ask. Well, resume on nav. I think I'm free already to make turns. I will just stick to the right side here of this terrain.
Victor, still departure. Resume on navigation appropriate VFR altitudes.
Remain appropriate VFR altitudes. Those only apply above 3,000 feet. No, you're totally right,
Exit 561. Cross runway 2 right. At Kilo,
just be sure.
Destination.
If I learn one thing at PilotEdge, there's no harm in asking.
So just 561. Roger, cross runway 2 right at Kilo, contact ground 120.8.
ADF is already pointing nicely to El Monte. So good departure, Sky Papa Delta Mike. Just a question here. Are we already free to climb above 3,000 feet, or are we still need to stick at 3,000?
PHTIM, resume appropriate VFR altitudes.
Oh, roger. We'll resume our own nav and our own VFR altitudes. Okay, so that means we don't need to hear
Exit 561 ground,
like Bravo,
via Kilo Alpha.
Bravo airspace-like explicit instruction. Altitude restriction is gone. Resume on nav and resume VFR altitudes, I guess, is just a free card. Asking is knowing, exactly. What also reminds me, well, first let's fly that radial and keep climbing, because before I'm reaching Ontario all the way on the other side there, I'd like to be above 5,000 feet, or 4,800 in the least, or is it 4,500? Well, at least 2,400, we're already past that one, but here, Ontario, we're going to overfly as well, 5,000, okay, so 5,500. Well, this is actually quite basic radio navigation. Just fly the needle. As you can see, the compass rose is not turning with it, so it's just a relative kind of bearing, which is actually kind of nice. Hey, Vinish, good to see you. How are you doing, buddy? I know you've been really busy with college, but hope you're doing fine. I'll also switch off my landing lights here and do our after takeoff checks. Again, everything is okay. Transponder, everything is set. Make sure, well, we can already start to lean it a bit because we're above 3,000. Get that EGT nicely high up. Better performance and less fouling of the spark plugs. Wonderful. Transponder, everything is set. The radios we don't need to set anymore. We already set those. Com radios are fine. ADIS is going to come up later. No messages. Climbing 5,500, so we got around 1,000 feet to go. Heading indicator, compass is in sync. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Wonderful. I think that's part of a check. Most of the check. Before take a lip and route climbed. Throttle mixture flaps. Yeah, we're checking the airspeed. Yep. Pitot heat. Oh yeah, I've got a question for you guys. Navigation. Yeah, navigation log. That's also something that I could have done. Is press this leg. We're already flying that leg. There's nothing to press. My question is, I noticed based on the real world flight that I did with Mrs. Certified a while ago, that the flight instructor told me that once you are climbing from, well, during flight, you actually need to pitch up and get to your VY first before you push in full power. So what I'm doing right now is actually not by the book, flying at 90 knots and climbing. What do you think about that? Is that something that I should do as well in my future flights? Finish, what did you do last time? What did I do? What did I do? I did some crosswind traffic pattern practice, which was really, really nice. Very much fun with Avanek. And the stream before that,
458, down territory, runway
GPS
26 right,
flying,
clear to go.
which was fun as well. Was a night flight, I believe. Oh, from San Diego to LAX was fun. Oh, you were there. You were at that stream. Don't know if that's the one before the last stream. I know for sure. Question, it depends on how you want to climb. Okay. Avanek, there's cruise climb, which is used to cool the engine better. Climb in shortest distance or climb in shortest time. Yeah. Okay. But shortest time or shortest distance is the difference between VX and VY. Not really 90 knots or VY or VX. It's indeed the only advantage of flying with this speed. Oh, I'm already past my cruising altitude, Tim. Again, sterile cockpit is also relevant for a reason, especially during streams. That you might perhaps cool the engine a little bit more while you are going faster in your climb. But also you, I guess, run a higher RPM. No, that's not true. Because if you're VY and pitch up, you also go with full power. LA. Some marginal VMC there to the ocean side of things. $35 in the back to exactly crash.
American 458, contact departure.
Alright, everything is looking good. Let's see if we can optimize my EGT.
American 458, contact departure.
Just a bit.
Spirit 8, Papa Victor. Contact point, we go approach 124.7.
Alright, 5,500. Nose up there. Good. Not using the clock. We should do that once we reach Amonte.
American 458, so departure, rear contact, verify climb via SID.
I think Amonte is over there. Yes, it is.
American 458, climb via SID, except maintain 14,000.
Again, still flying. This is quite basic.
I get the feeling we forgot something.
Exactly. Thanks, Avanek. Where is Sniper when you need him? Well, through sound commands. Very nice flying day here. Alright, from El Monte we're gonna fly the VOR. As you can see, pretty close. So looking at the GPS there, you can see El Monte is just coming up. Thanks for the donation, Dan. 50 euros. Wow. Wow, that's really encouraging, man. I cannot believe. Man, so that means vintage aviator goggle time. I'm so excited. Wow, thank you so much, man. Top donator. Guys, you're so kind. It's incredible. That means that I can also announce my next donation goal. And I don't know whether that's a feasible donation goal, but I think it's going to excite you guys as much as me. Oh, cheer should work, FNX. Doesn't it work? It should. And especially for Den. He deserved a cheer sound. Well, you received some cheers from me, man. Thank you again. My next donation goal is inspired by the flight that I did.
American 458, contact Los Angeles Center 125,
Ah, there it is.
127.
Just get some extra exclamation marks and it will just work. Thank you, Dan.
American 458, contact Los Angeles Center 125.27.
Let's see if this ADF is gonna flip. Don't chat or get distracted at times when you need to do stuff in your cockpit. That's a basic thing. Also, visualize what's ahead. Don't live in the now. If there's one practice that does not like you to be in the now, it's aviation, I think. Always think ahead. There it goes. Flip, clock. And let's catch this radial. My next donation goal, guys, is inspired by the real world flight by Mariah. I'm very curious. I don't know if it's allowed, but I would love to fly unusual attitudes in IMC in real world with the same flight instructor that I was flying with Mariah.
American 458, Los Angeles Center. The climb via SID instruction.
Let's also cancel flight following by the way here.
Climbing, and it's a mandatory readback for pilots. We need to know if you're climbing in a free climb to a certain altitude, if you're climbing and complying with published restrictions to a certain altitude.
Man, my overlay
or
should
if you're
update any
climbing
second now.
and complying with published restrictions to the top
Yeah,
altitude
Evanek,
on the
me
chart,
too.
which is climb via SID. So just remember that when you get a climb via SID instruction, that's a mandatory readback. You got to relay that to every controller you talk to. Los Angeles Center, climbing tank level 230.
He's going to read back the pilot.
PHTM, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
135.4, contacting Mike. Alright, let's do that first. 135.4. SoCal approach, Sky Property Delta Mike is level 5,500. At this time, I would like to cancel flight following.
PHTM, SoCal approach, ready to service terminated, squawk VFR for exchange, prove Ontario altimeter 2992.
92 for the altimeter and we'll zoom VFR property. Double check if my transponder is set to 1200. Yes. Okay, we are free birds, and I exceeded on my radial here, as you can see. Again, flying IFR. This should not happen, but again, and that's also something that, well, I'm confusing different topics here. My donation goal. That's what I like to do, guys. A real-world IFR flight lesson. That's going to be so exciting. Brutal, thank you for the follow. But I don't know if that's... I don't have a private pilot license. I don't know if I can also do advanced lessons. by the flight instructor. I guess there would be no reason why not to. I would love to experience the difference between unusual attitudes in IMC in the real world versus the sim, because obviously the biggest challenge of doing that in the real world is the physical bodily distraction, disorientation of gravity and all of the forces that are there when you're making those unusual turns. Here in the sim is just a visual, quite an intellectual, quite simple actually exercise. But if your body senses tell you something different that's going on with the, or try to tempt you to think that there's something different going on with the airplane, then your primary instruments are telling you, then shit's gonna hit the fan. I like to experience when shit's gonna hit the fan with an instructor, but I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So that's hey Val, good to see you as well. So nice to follow your painting stuff. You're so active with that. I guess there are phases when you start painting more and then do more racing and flying, but it's fun to see. Also love the group flight with Rush and John that you guys did with the Super Cup. I think you were part of that as well, I believe. Ah, exactly. Now I don't like to fly Stefan with the foggles on. I actually like to be in a cloud, but I don't know if that's even. I mean, that's not difficult to do here in the Netherlands, to find clouds. And as part of that donation goal, I also gonna video record it. I'm gonna invite Mireille over as well to be part of that. She's also quite excited and curious to see how that might feel like. She doesn't get nauseous. But I also like to then ask the instructor to chat in English and record it on the video. So you guys,
458 contact Los Angeles Center 133.55.
So I can share the that chat as well. I think that's going to be really awesome. So that's going to be the next donation goal. Why hasn't my overlay
contact Los Angeles Center 133.55
updated yet with Dan's wonderful donation? My gosh. I guess soon. Also, why is my radial completely off the grid? I was flying Pomona. Well, I think I already passed Pomona. Yep, 3.5 here on the nautical mile. So that means that now we're going to fly to a visual reporting point as planned. We're just VFR, we can do whatever, to practice flying a radial on with ADF. So we're now flying around here. Let's go up north to there or somewhere around there, and let's just catch a radial of, well, 10 or 110.
American 458 Los Angeles Center, climbing tempo 330.
Peters. 397, 397. Switch. 397. There it is. Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, nice clouds here at the bottom. Oh, very, very cute. Scenic. The fold weather, guys. Unexplained. Don't like the jiggery, stuttery shadows though, but I think it looks pretty. So let's go a little bit up here. Now, how do we do this? I like to fly 100 degree. So what I do now, I guess, is just set the compass rose to my current heading. Like so. And I'll just wait until the ADF needle hits 100 degrees here. Not in temperature, in heading. And once it does, I'm going to make that turn and then change the compass to my current heading. So again, ideally in ADF, you would like to see that the compass rose always shows you your current heading, because then you can do this much more easy. Oops, we're not really totally VMC here. Well, I guess we are. Thin cloud layer. Nice. In real world, you need like 150 total hours. Yeah, I know, Stefan. But for a unique experience, it should be okay. Yeah, I think so as well. So I'm just gonna email the flight instructor again and say, Rob, we want more. And just to see if it's possible. And if it does, I will update my donation goal and do that. I think that would be really, really awesome. Okay, what is my ADF doing? Well, already past the 90 degrees. We're getting to the 100s. Or 110 was it, right? So let's go 110. Get also a little bit closer to these very pretty mountains here. Also, just love the way X-Plane just depicts these really more 3D clouds, like rather than those 2D pictures that are constantly changing, shifting to your viewpoint. Especially with Trek RR, it's so noticeable. With X-Plane, it looks so much more real in 3D, more reliable clouds as well. Look at this. I think this looks really, really well. 110 already passed. Okay, let's see if we can catch 110 to PILOTEdge. Again, make sure we're on VO4, not on flight following anymore. Stick to 5,500. So let's fly 100 first. I'm not going to fly towards the beacon, but I'd like to fly 110 towards the NDB. There we are. Let's change the other way around. 110. It's a little bit to the left. That's already quite nearby, I think. That makes it a little bit difficult.
So just one gentleman, there's request.
Just a little bit more to the left, until again it sneaks back to 100, and then I'm gonna make that turn to 100 again. A little bit more. Does that work like this? Because obviously when I'm turning, because we're so nearby, I think it's a little bit difficult, because now it's already on 110. No. It's a little bit harder than I thought. As you can see, it already points to 110, but I'm not on the 110 radial. Why not? I'm currently on 6. That's where I am. Right. Explain. Thank you. Let's fly 60. Why didn't that work? Also stick at 5,500 Tim. Flying above Ontario airspace. 5,000, which, where is it? There it is, Ontario. Nose down. Same drill. So apparently, when I made that turn, it didn't quite work. Well, it should work. Still. 60 degrees.
Right 5852, Santa Barbara clearance. On departure, fly runway heading, maintain VFR at or below 1,500. Departure frequency 120.55, squawk 4630.
Did not reset the clock, obviously. Let's just set it once we hit the NDB. 100 degrees, we are at the ADF. It should work. Just thinking logically, it should work. 60, if my ADF reads 100 degrees towards the NDB, then if I then make a turn to 100 degrees, I should be flying the 100 degree radial inbound.
Bravo Victor, Santa Barbara ground runway 15 left, activity of Bravo Charlie, cross runway 25 at Bravo.
Makes a difference. Exactly 60. There we are. Also listen to, well, we can listen to the ATIS soon. Not gonna do two things at the same time. I'm really an expert in thinking up new tasks at the moment when I actually need to focus on completing the test that I'm actually working on. And then I'm distracting myself and sterile thinking,
Sacramento, executive report.
Me.
Micah 1 departure.
Right, not yet. Not yet.
Hero.
Almost there.
Direct Los Angeles. Corrections, Hero transition. Direct Los Angeles.
Ontario to the right there.
Direct Shafter, then asphalt. Climb via SID. Except maintain 5,000.
Almost there.
Departure frequency 128.1. Squawk 6741.
110. Okay, let's make the turn. No speed up. provided that my heading indicator was actually in sync with my compass. I think it was. 110.
So jet 561 degree.
Well, pretty much. Pretty much. So now I can reset it again to 110. I'm flying not exactly the radial, so I should fly a little bit like 100, for example.
So jet 561, read that correct?
Then change this thing to 100 as well. Until, again, same drill, it hits 100. And this is the fiddling around that you need to do to fly NDB radials. Which is not that hard, but with such an ADF instrument, it's a little bit, well, requires a little bit more silly work, because it would be so easy to have a compass rose that just reads your heading indicator. It's an integrated ADF here. It would work just fine, and those instruments actually exist. But with this basic default Cessna 172, it doesn't. I guess 10 degrees is not enough for us to make the radial. I also think that the ADF is already, or the NDB is already quite nearby. So it's going to flip around very, very soon. Can we see Bernardino already? Lima 67 is a closed airport, I believe. That's this one. Confused the hell out of me. That's a closed airport, I think. And Bernardino should be somewhere around there. Yeah, you can see the airspace already here, the Delta airspace over here at the top. That's 100, 110 I mean, on the ADF. There we go again, 110. Yes! Now we're on the radial, 110. Okay, so perhaps...
Got 3141 up and down my planes, clear to Sacramento Executive Airport.
You need to
Michael
turn,
departure, hero transition.
Not too fast,
Asphalt.
or not too slow to know when to catch that radial nicely in one go. So this is just the exercise in VMC, marginal VMC, earlier. But in the next slide I'm going to do this in IMC as well, at least practice IMC. And really fly without any outside view. Again, flying on instruments and flying an NDB radial as well. Perhaps we can go from San Bernardino back to Whiteman or to some other airport. Would I like to do this one more time? Yes, I do, and I do have some time. So let's do that. Double check airspace. So again, Peters, as you can see here, those shiny, nice sun-like NDB depiction. We could fly, 5,500 is March here to the south, and we are flying at 5,500, so that's not a good idea. So what we could do is just fly to the east, fly over Redlands here, and also San Bernardino, and then return and catch the radial of 250. Does that bring us any trouble? No. Okay, good. So we're still flying that radial.
So Jet 561, John Wayne ground, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, hold short, runway 20 left at Lima.
Flip on us because we passed it. And then we're gonna try to catch the 250
ground, runway 20
radio
right,
inbound.
Taxi via Alpha Lima,
inbound
hold
to
short, runway 20
Peters.
left at Lima.
It's fine. Interesting.
Exodus 561, that's the intention. I'm just so used to giving that instruction. Runway 2 left, taxi via Alpha Delta.
Great weather. I am noticing with X-Plane 1105.
I give those taxi instructions faster than I can spell my name.
That my sim is a bit more stuttery, and I haven't installed any new things than when I was running 02. So, also with the weather,
Hey, Papa Victor, radar
seems to
contact,
load stuff on the background. I think it's the weather, but I don't know for sure. Then engine for pitch, trim for speed. Is it right? That's counterintuitive.
Papa Victor Santa Barbara departure, resume on navigation and appropriate VFR altitudes.
Well, I don't know if it's really counterintuitive. Perhaps a bit, but... Exactly, Stefan. Why isn't my overlay updated? With Dan's donation.
Challenger 3141 Papa.
Weird.
Jam on the ground, runway 2, left, taxi via Alpha Delta.
Alright, there goes the NDB, I think. Perhaps we're now missing. I was not really flying 110.
ExoJet 5621, John, tower 18006, runway 2
There
left
is
of
San Bernardino. That's our destination airport. But first we're going to do some additional inbound radial flying here. So put some music on, if I may. Whoa, what was that? Does that work?
John 3141 Pop, John Wayne Tower, hold short, and get you on there in just a second.
Sounds... It should. Yes, it does. Ambient sounds. I love those. Chill step stuff. Nice. Alrighty. 5,500.
Yeah, 350 Las Vegas,
Needle
Reno
is
Airport,
flipped.
Shed 1 departure, cannot transition as filed, climb via SID, squawk 3722.
I'd like to catch, fly towards the NDB at 5,500 on a radial of 250.
Yeah, 350 readback, correct. And when you followed your altitude, what altitude were you? You followed 2,980 feet as your cruise altitude. I'm sure that's a typo. What were you looking for?
What a nice flying weather, guys.
2801 minutes after correction, 5 minutes after departure.
Look at those clouds. I think those are really, really pretty. Okay, so fly 60. 60 here. 60. That's, is it going to work?
Challenger 41 Papa, only
not.
2 left, line and wait.
Already passed our radial, which is actually also kind of fun. Let's fly a little bit more.
ExoJet 561,
This is
so departure,
6.
contact line via STID.
Oh, music volume. Alright, sorry. Thank you for the feedback. Let me see. East. 26. Yeah. So should I make a right turn or a left turn to catch the 250 radial? And left turn. Okay. 5,500. Nice. San Bernardino. Again, we're not flying on flight following in a very dense airspace here, so there's a lot of traffic, and we are, as always, responsible for remaining safe.
Challenger 41 Papa, runway 2 left, clear for takeoff, wind 18006.
Let's just fly 250 and see what's going to happen. Oh, a little bit more. Well, that was already pretty basic because I think it was a 180-degree turn. We're not really flying the 250 radial, actually. Minor corrections would also be interesting. 250, yeah, so it's pointing that direction. So that means that I need to fly, for example, to the west. Turn this thing to the west as well. And wait, same drill. Oh, it's already hitting 2.5. Not really. Let's see here. Not quite, as you can see. Yes, Stefan. Well, actually, immediately after the stream, I'm gonna order those goggles, and we'll wear them on stream. I'd love to have those goggles. West, as you can see, not there yet. Any moment now. Also, I didn't set my altimeter based on what the so-called approach controller said. That was 902. And I'm also not flying. I think it's very important, especially when you're near an NDB, that you're exactly flying the heading. Yes, you can see it's now 250. So now we need to make that turn. 50. All the way around him. 250.
Exit of plastics contact Los Angeles Center
really.
128.6.
Barely. Well, this is good enough.
Very Papa Victor contact move for
250. Nice. How much time do we have? We still have some time.
So Jet 561 Los Angeles Center. Climb maintain level 230.
Again, let's just continue flying.
Aircraft on San Luis Tower, say call sign.
There goes the ADF, as you can see. It's already turning, flipping, so it's right below.
Aircraft on San Luis Tower, say call sign.
Oh, this is nice.
Alright, aircraft on San Luis Tower, call sign.
Oh, that's interesting.
151, I read you loud.
That's a good idea,
actually,
actually, Stefan.
Say again your,
that's a good idea. The only problem is, at least, well, you would fly with a cap on, right? If without a cap, it wouldn't really matter in my case because I don't have any hair.
151 Roman Kilo,
or short hair, so you wouldn't see any hair waving in the wind in my case. Oh, those are the runways of Ontario. Nice. Okay, past the ADF. Again, we're very near the NDB. What are we going to pick? I'd like to fly.
Kilo. Make straight in runway 29, report
well,
4 mile final.
Let's do a.
Challenger 415 contact
easterly.
Los Angeles Center 128.6.
Easterly, eastbound.
Yeah, 350
inbound
Las Vegas ground runway
to
26 right taxi via Charlie Bravo.
That's going to be a right turn. Give us a little bit more time here to do that. Just put up a wig.
Air 58 Papa Victor, approach Dock Nord altimeter 2991.
Now, I've got these really great goggles in mind. Really, those really vintage old school goggles with a cap on. I mean, just a real thing. So I like to have some kind of a stand there in my cockpit room to display it. I think it's really, really nice. But obviously, I'm going to wear it here on stream as well. And we need to dedicate a stream to wearing those. And indeed, some kind of a new airplane or so, just to have some fun. Okay, let's get that eastbound radial going.
Exit Jet 566 Center, morning climb maintain level 430.
Let's make a shallow turn to the right. almost 360 to get to an easterly direction. In the real world again, and I should also do that in the sim. First, look outside of the window to see if there's no one near.
Gurney 5 Victor, contact Oxnard Tower, 134.95, squawk before, have a good one.
Well, perhaps we can do even a more aggressive. Let's fly 3-0.
Papa Victor, Oxnard Tower and a right downwind, runway 25,
okay. There we are, 3030.
ExoJet 56, clear direct shaft.
And you can see the ADF is creeping into east. And as soon as it hits east, we're gonna make a turn to the east. Right in the approach or departure path of Ontario. I think that would not be something. I mean, we're still legal here, but we might annoy controllers there and pilots as well as a result of it. Almost east. Ready with, be precise with the heading.
51 Romeo
there it
29er,
is. Alright, make that turn. It's not really a 30-degree difference, so we might already passed it. Let's overturn just a tiny bit. So let's say 100. More. So we're not flying 110. Oh. Oh, yes, there it is. And turn this thing with it. And straight. Well, not too bad. We're on an easterly heading inbound. Nice. Well, I get the idea. So in this case, you need to fly a little bit more to the left to get there, but perhaps the ADF is already turning around because we're so nearby.
Air 4 Papa, Roger, contact Los Angeles Center 133.55.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so I get the idea. Should be part of a little bit more practice in a future stream. I'm going to fly an IMC as well. There is San Bernardino.
Negative. No, Papa cleared direct shaft or climb maintain flight level 430.
San Bernardino INTL information Oscar.
Oscar.
1700 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 17. Dew point -1. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 06. Departing runway 06.
Okay. Let's look up some frequencies. San Bernardino. Tower 119.45. What are we talking? We're talking Sierra Bravo Delta.
Biggest Tower United 350, hold short 26 right on Bravo.
United 350, Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay, clear for takeoff, 26 right,
1.8. Oh, finish G, no. Good one. That's actually the next stream. So for each particular flight task or learning task, I make 2 flights. One is with winds calm and the one is crosswind. In the previous stage I was flying VMC and IMC, but for this stage that I'm in, it's indeed winds calm and crosswind. So that's what I'm going to do next time. NDB wind corrections. Yeah, good one. Thanks. One to 1.8, good, and 1 to 9.45. Roger, and we got Oscar. And there's the field. And what's the elevation?
Clear 25 at Echo.
As you can see on the
Alright, Papa Victor, taxi parking to Foxtrot, model ground, have a day.
on the GPS, we're already in the class. Well, not really in the class, we're flying above, but
San Luis
laterally
ground,
though we are
November
not.
151 Romeo Kilo at Foxtrot, taxi to parking.
Let's do the
Romeo Kilo, taxi parking via Alpha, have a good day.
right of us.
Taxi to parking via Alpha, thank you. November 151 Romeo
Oh, that's
Kilo.
to the bottom. Yeah, that's what's here? It's currently to the right, so that's south. Oh yeah, that might be Riverside. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, get it. And top is 3,200. Okay, so let's get that descent going. So already a little bit on traffic pattern altitude. Reduce RPM, and the airplane will go down by itself. Again, everything looks fine. Make this U kind of flow. So transponder, everything is set. Nav, we don't need comms, are set. ADIS, we have annunciator messages. No, everything is set. Runway, that's a good one. I'm gonna expect runway 24. Set the heading bug for a memory aid or making traffic pattern flying a little bit more easy. It's in sync, speed is good, good, nice.
Secretary Night 350, you want me to go over to departures?
Yeah, 350, I sure would. You can contact departure, have a good one.
Interesting finish.
No worries, we're kind of busy. Okay, over to departure.
Stefan, you should give a try to arc DME flying. Oh yes, we're gonna do that, Stefan. A radial has a very specific definition. Okay, how do you call it then? If you like to fly
Las Vegas departure,
a particular radial
and
or an NDB, how do you? Or isn't there any radial NDB flying skill involved with any of the approaches? I thought it was.
Climb via SID, except maintain, are mandatory for pilots to read back, and they are different from climbing. So, you know, we're out of 1,500 climbing level 190. That's different from climb via SID, except maintain flight level 190, or climb via SID, which goes to the top altitude on the chart. That's correct.
I don't know why my overlay is not updating.
Mr. Jeff well, what's your plan?
Let's look at that. 50 euros then. My gosh, thank you so much. That's really kind and generous. Wow. Okay, where are we? There's Redlands, which is also really nice. Let's go to Redlands, guys. Where would I like to go?
Follow 390.
Colin, thanks for the follow. What we could do is visit this untowered airport, Redlands, which I always like to visit. We could also go to San Bernardino, and then we're going to chat with ADC. Let me know what you guys like. A bearing. It's a bearing then. Okay. Why is that actually the case? Why can't you call that a radial? Because it's still... Oh no, that's true, because the VOR transmits... Yeah, the NDB... Yeah, so we're actually... Yeah, we're applying a trick to infer a radial by the NDB, but the VOR provides much more information, so we can do this trick with the OBS, and thus it also broadcasts radials opposed to an NDB, which only shows you where you need to go to get there, I guess. Hey, Capi. Phase difference, yeah. Always good to have Finnish on board. Well, if there are no preferences for what airports I need to go,
Baron 182 Bravo Lima IFR.
then I'm going to go to Redlands. Change of plans, 123.05. Oh, change of weather. CTAF. There we are. 1,574, so that's 2,500 is the traffic pattern altitude. Let's keep descending as well, Tim, if we can. Let's put on our landing lights as well. EGT is still okay. And we're not that low yet. And what's the runway? 26. And right pattern is 26. Okay, so then let's do a nice teardrop entry 26. Okay, and still in sync. Okay. And Redlands is over there. Okay. Woohoo! So nice. Descending, Tim. All right, where are we? Where is Redlands? I thought it was somewhere over there. And there is San Bernardino. Correct. You can see the hangars. Sorry, guys. Try to be stable there, but there is Redlands. South, 10 miles. 26, enter right downwind. Redlands traffic, yellow Skyhawk is 8 miles south of the airport, currently at 4,000, descending to traffic pattern altitude, or rather 3,500, and we're going to overfly the field from the south and enter the right downwind 26 for a touch and go, Redlands. Just sneak to have a quick look at the clock here to see how much time I have. Enjoying myself here. So I picked 3,500 because I'd like to overfly the field above traffic pattern altitude, so I stay clear of any traffic that might be there. Also AI, obviously. Landing lights are on. That's also already pretty high, actually. I'd like to have my mixture here. Don't need, not forgetting that I'm still lean. Nice finish. Again, it's a pleasure. The pleasure's all mine. Come on, Tim. Alright. Keep my RPM in the same descent setting so I can reduce my speed here and get my first notch of flaps. There it goes. Now we're going to set a little bit more RPM here to stay around 90. San Bernardino is there to the left. Okay. Now, one immediate thing or thing that I'm noticing right now when I look at the outside view is because we're flying right-hand traffic patterns to that side, yep, terrain. So let's see how that goes. And I don't see any other traffic yet. Alright, there we go. Heading back to the left. Well, the traffic pattern was at 2,500, right? So 1,000 feet above the traffic pattern is perhaps a little bit too much, so we can already descend a bit. 500 feet is minimum. Redlands traffic, yellow Skyhawk is crossing the field from the south to the north and to the right, downwind 26 for a touch and go, Redlands. Nice area, guys, don't you think? Look at this. San Bernardino to our left. I love ortho. Me too, Stefan. Exactly, Evanek. It was. Alright. 3000. Again, a bit of power. Crossing the field right now. Well, we're below 3000, so go full mixture. Again, lights are fully lit. Parking brakes are released. Here's my checklist. Can I see? I should not do that when I'm about to make a maneuver, Tim. Sterile. Task focus. Alright, let's descend already. Already past that downwind leg. See any other traffic so far? It's a right-hand pattern, so we need to go to the right soon. But I'm gonna make a left teardrop so I don't cut myself short. Is it a runway? Weird. Okay, let's make that turn. Keep descending to traffic pattern altitudes.
Redlands traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor
Nice,
Alpha, taxi to runway
Evanek.
26, Redlands.
That's a nice surprise. Okay, let me see. Watch my speed there. Where is Redlands? There it is. Coming up. 2,500 traffic pattern altitude. A little bit more power. Redlands traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now only 40 degree, right downwind 26 for touch and goes. Redlands. Let's see if we can spot Evanek. Hard to see over the nose. And guys, any one of you who's got a PilotEdge account, feel free to join in. It's just fun to do multiplayer as well here. That's what PilotEdge is also about. Alright. Redlands traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now turning on the right downwind 26 to Chicos. Redlands. Heading back to the bottom. There we are. We're past midpoint, midfield I mean, so we can already start our descent a bit. We're close to the runway. Ah, there's Evanek at 26. Let's see if he's gonna sneak in front of us or whether he's gonna wait. Come on, descent. Usually too high from base to final. I think there is not a lot of base leg left here. Looking at how close I am already to the field. So what we could do is already put in my notch of flaps here, 20 degrees. Don't get too slow here while making a turn.
Terrain ahead.
I know, GPS. I know. Redlands traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is now turning from downwind over to base to final. Runway 26 for touch and goes. Redlands. Yeah, that's a good decision. Get the descent going. Watch my speed. Should remain within the white band because I'm 20 degrees, right? Flaps.
500.
Alright, 65 is my target speed. Evanek is still waiting. He's gonna sneak behind me. Alright, a little more power. And again, regulate my altitude with power, speed with pitch. Redlands. Nice. Evanek here, waiting. Let's wave. Okay. Nose up, bleed away. Oh, that's a bit too much of a yoke pull. Nice. Flaps up, full power. A little bit of right rudder there. Nicely controlled on the center line. VR. V. Yeah, rotates. Nice. Nose a little bit down. VY first. And Redlands traffic, Killer Sky goes down the upwind. 26 close traffic. That's gonna expect Evanek to do his announcement.
Redlands traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, taking off runway 26, right close traffic, following the traffic on the right. Redlands.
Nice. There we go. Traffic pattern flying is so much fun, guys. At least to me, it never gets boring, and especially with others in the pattern. Whoa, Tim, Stefan, exclamation marks. What do you guys mean? Alright, 300s. Redlands traffic, Yellow Sky is now turning right, crosswind. 26, close traffic, Redlands. Nicely on VY. Again, I should have looked first before I made my turn. Just to make sure there's no one on my crosswind leg, because you never know. Nordo traffic is legal too. Traffic that is not on the radio. Or on non-towered airports, at least. Nice touchdown. Ah, thanks. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I was pleased with that as well. Not a perfect mark. I could do better, actually. There was a little bit of a ballooning there. Myself a little bit of a base lag. Nice. Redlands traffic, Killer Sky is now turning right downwind. 26 for a touch and go. Redlands. Let's do another one. It's just fun, guys.
Redlands traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, turning right, crosswind 26, touch and go, Redlands.
Okay, there we are. Watch your flaps. Push down on the yoke a bit. I think winds are calm. I don't notice any crosswind component. Look at the scenery. Wow. Nice valley here. Behind there is the Banning Valley. Towards my favorite airport, Palm Springs.
Redlands traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, turning right downwind, runway 26, touch and go, Redlands.
Yeah, he's nicely behind. Can see him in the far distance, actually. You guys can't. I think it's a bit too tiny. Quite far away of the runway. I don't know whether I would actually make the field in case of an engine out. That's actually the rule of thumb to follow. Should be able to make the field with an engine out from downwind. Use RPM here, get the descent going. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Redlands traffic, Killer Sky is turning right base, 26, touch and go. Nice. So I guess this terrain here in front of us is kind of like a riverbed or so. Dried out riverbed. Okay, good speed. Power.
500.
I know, darling. Redlands traffic, Killer Skyhawk is turning final runway 26, touch and goes, Redlands. Okay.
Redlands traffic, Sky Alpha Victor Alpha, turning right base, runway 26, have traffic on final inside, Redlands.
Trimming does the magic, guys. Stabilized approach. A good touchdown is not a matter of flare, it's a matter of flying a proper traffic pattern. Stabilized approach. A little bit more power there. And also lots of luck. So look at the windsock there, winds are calm.
Radars traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Alpha, turning final, runway 26, touch and go, red ends.
Keep that nose wheel up and slowly nose down. That one was a bit better, I believe. Power, keeps standard. Nice. 60 and rotates. Keep that nose a bit down first. Speed, 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 speed. Redlands traffic, Yellow Scark is now on the upwind. 26. Full stop this time, Redlands. Nose down, trim. And there we go. Yes, I did finish. I did actually. Keith also induced an engine out, unexpected engine out while I was on the pattern. It's actually also streamed a while ago. That was fun, and I made it actually. Redlands traffic, Yellow Scark is turning right crosswind, 26, full stop, Redlands. I mean, in that case, with an engine out in a pattern, it's all about reaction time and knowing also what to do. I was actually also trying to restart the engine while I was doing my maneuvers because I had some time to do that, which was actually not really needed, or actually also distracting. Just get to the runway as safely as possible, which I managed to do, even onto the taxiway. It's a fun stream. I think it's a highlight on my Twitch channel as well, or my YouTube channel. Truck higher up, please. Again, to look first, Tim. Redlands traffic, Yellow Scark is turning right downwind, 26, full stop. Redlands. Last traffic event of the day. Let's set a nice sunset here. Why? Well, because it's X-Plane. And it looks gorgeous, I think.
Redlands traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Alpha, turning right crosswind, runway 26, and full stop, Redlands.
Where is the guy? Already behind me. Below 100 knots. First notch of flaps already midfield.
Redlands traffic, Skyhawk
past
Alpha,
midfield.
turning right downwind, runway 26, full stop, Redlands.
Well, let's see if we are ahead of time here and we can land and see Avanek touchdown. Right, going down, a little bit more nose up here again. Or before you turn, do you see anyone there? Or also on final, perhaps straight ins on non-towered airports are not recommended, but people do that. Much more speed, Tim. Much more speed. Much too slow. And don't put in throttle. Pitch. Need to go down, so use that energy. Redlands traffic. Yellow Scark is now turning right base to 6, full stop, Redlands. There we are. Wow, there's Avanek. Ooh, that looks great. What do you think, guys? Look at this X-Wing. This is a simulator. Look how it's so pretty. A little bit too high. And Redlands traffic. Yellow Scark is turning final to 6, full stop, Redlands. I'll overshoot that just a tiny bit. Look at that sun glare on the prop. Wow. That's pretty. Man. Wow. Alright.
Redlands traffic, Sky Conflict Alpha, turning right base, runway 26, full stop, Redlands.
Okay, what we can do is focus on the taxiway over here, so we can just extend our approach just a tiny bit, so we can turn around and have a look at Evenek. Why am I being pushed to the left? So it seems, at least. A bit rough. Putting a lot of pedal in to get my nose straight.
Redlands traffic, Sky Conflict Alpha, turning final runway 26, full stop, Redlands.
Redlands traffic, Kilo Scout is clear, runway 26, Redlands. Landing lights off, strobe lights on, taxi lights on. Oh, this is a picture. Evenek, make it count. Let's set to 1000 RPM here. So lean my mixture at least on feel. Nice. Yeah, let's turn our nav lights on as well. Should have done that already. There he is. Look at those glares. All right, let's get going. It is
traffic, Sky
Stefan.
Conflict Alpha has cleared the runway, Redlands.
Turbinator, no. It is the download sky colors. I've been flying with the defaults, but I think Evenek or Miniwebs was referring me to, what was it, Ultimate Mod or something else that needed those sky colors. And I incidentally, again, I used them with X-Plane 10 as well, but I installed them for X-Plane 11 too, and man, they look pretty. Just a free download at the org. Highly recommended, as you can see. Again, I should keep my RPM around 900 or 850 to get a steady taxi going, and also to prevent that fouling of the plugs at idle. Idle is not a good state of RPM for your engine. Evenek behind us. Where are we going to park? Do we need to refuel? Yes, we do. Where's the fuel station? Well, I think it's over here. One spot left. I think I should have taxied the other way around, but hey. There you are. Nice. First transponder off so it isn't turned on when I start up the airplane. Parker brake sets. And there we are, guys. Ah. What's that sound? Is that me? Okay. I'm getting very curious of what I'm doing wrong here. Perhaps I hit the... No, I don't want to use those. Chucks. Ish. Sounds like a flap. Or was that Avanek? No, it is a weird sound. I think it's just the fuel pump that's making the sound. Okay. Interesting. Fuel stations make sound. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think so. But for an ending shot, perhaps it's not really nice to listen to this stuff. Ooh, wow! This could be a wallpaper. Look at that San Bernardino over there. Gorgeous. Is Evanek still here? Oh, he's already stepped into his car and gone home now. Where is he? Perhaps he already disconnected, I don't know. Or this might be him. Cute airports. Nice. And there's Benning over that side. Let's finish with that. Look at this. This is going to be our ending shot, definitely. Woohoo! Okay, so what I'd like to do is, before I'm doing my ending shot, disconnect. Let's have a quick look at the landings, because I just like to do that. Recorder. Go a bit back in time. Let's have a look. Perhaps that was my first landing. I don't know. Let me see. This was my... What is this thing about? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, 2 laps. This was the teardrop, which was really, really nice. But I was a bit close to the airport, as you can see. This was a little bit too far, perhaps. Yeah, as you can see here, it's one big turn from downwind to final. Okay. Let's have a look. With wheel chocks on. Alright, what are we looking for? Main wheels first. We don't have any crosswind. Main wheels first, and then just a few moments after a touchdown of the nose. And slightly, or gently, I mean. And here was a little bit of ballooning. Here I went a little bit up. Nose up, nose further up. Up, 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 up. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Bleed off that energy. Bleed off that energy. Nice. Touchdown. Moment, 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 moment. Nice. And on center line. Very pleased with that one. On the tower. Same drill. Looks really cool. And there I came. Final. Wow. Vega, good to see you as well. How are you doing? Almost looking as good as P3D. Honestly, I still think that X-Plane 11 looks prettier, even with Orbix. But I noticed that 4.1 of Prepared now also has rain effects on the cockpit, at least on the default aircraft. I'd like to see that for X-Plane as well. especially for the 172. It does provide for me so much immersion. That would be perhaps on my number one spot on my list, even though it doesn't provide me with any educational value whatsoever. Yeah, there was a little bit of a wiggle there because I was not feeling comfortable with my pitch or with my yaw. As you can see, I was turning a bit to the right here. Need to correct for that, and then I was turning on my wheels as soon as I touched down. A little bit yawed here. Let's see. And then correct it again to the right, I believe. So now I'm a little bit off the center line. Yeah, there I went. Exactly. How fast were you going when you landed? Around 60 each landing, I think, 60 knots. Man, what a pretty sight. Okay, let me see. Music off. Okay, guys, that completes my fun little radial bearing flight practice to see if I can also fly towards NDBs, which I wasn't really expecting to be that difficult, but to fly a particular bearing or radial inbound of an NDB would perhaps be something useful for my NDB oriented or NDB based approaches or departures. So that's why, and that's something that I practiced with in today's stream, which was actually quite basic but fun to do. In the next stream or in the next flight, my training flight, I'm going to do it again, but this time, wow, Pearl, thank you. Thanks for the cheers, much appreciated. Great flying and very informative. You're so welcome here on board. Thanks. In the next stream, I'm going to do the same, but then with a crosswind component. So then, like with the traffic pattern, you still try to catch a particular bearing towards the NDB, but you need to take into account the push of the wind, right? So you need to shortcut your turn or overturn in order to end up in a crab position that makes you fly that ground track, towards the beacon. So that's going to be fun as well. So I guess I'm going to preset my weather in that case. So that's up next, and then I think I completed most of my basic fundamental preparatory training stuff, and then I'm going to fly my first departure procedure, I think. And I still feel a little bit unsure and unfamiliar of how to request such a practice departure here on PilotEdge and how that will go, and if I can indeed feel a more integrated skill set being developed to do that, to know how to fly better on my instruments, to also apply my knowledge of reading instrument or departure charts and those procedures. So then A2C really comes into play, and I really start to become a little bit more of an instrument rated pilot than in the last 20 episodes or so, which were more fundamental and skill based. Still much fun though, I think, but it's going to transition into more IFR like stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'd like to see me mess up and learn new things, you're so free to jump aboard at any time and help me out, or just share your knowledge and experience here on the stream with the chat, because there's also many others here, student pilots watching also on YouTube, that are also trying to study their aviation practice as well, and also many knowledgeable pilots, sometimes even real world pilots, who I would love to see sharing their knowledge here and experience and tips here on the channel. So in any case, you're so welcome here to jump aboard. Thanks, Vega. Thank you. Good to see you here. Been a long time, man. Been a long time. And also again, Dan, thank you for your very generous donation. I have no idea why my overlay was not updating. I'll have to look into that. Nothing that I changed about the overlay. So thanks again, 50 euros. My gosh, that's a top donation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And that means that I will order those vintage aviation goggles and cap and wear that on stream. If we can do some old school vintage flying here, perhaps as part of a group flight we'll have to see, but I'm really looking forward to that one. So once more then thank you. Evanek, thank you for joining in as well. As always, I really appreciate you jumping in here at the last time. Even in this case, just to fly a few traffic patterns makes it a lot more fun. So thank you, sir. Guys, as always, happy flights and blue skies. See you next time. Bye.
Palm Springs Tower, Skybank Hotel Tango, Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. Information X-ray, look for a full stop, and then 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type B6 final slam cloud, request clearance to Vegas as filed.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you that file, and I'll be forward standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 240 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3, initially climb 7,000, expected for 0 after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316, plus 465.
Plus 4658, reback is correct. Tango Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo on this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Ontario Tower says the 237 Charlie Alpha approximately 4 miles to the west inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26 left before base.
Enter left downwind 26 left and before your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base short.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land 20 right, United 242.
Palomar Tower, King Alpha 26, Yankee Kilo, ILS runway 24.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
Clear land to Yankee Kilo.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha, thank you.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 east ramp to weather, going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning. November 2903 Alpha, with you on the islands.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report to miss.
November 2903 Alpha, yet low approach, runway 9. Next report is
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go to right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to right plus 465.
Palomar Tower, King Alpha 20, Yankee Kilo, located at 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha, Yankee Kilo, please.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Says the 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going miss?
November 2903 Alpha going